it on that beat. Go.
They not like us. 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 They not like us.
Let's get it. Let's get it! Ponies, you guys better.
Hey, 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 run for your life. Hey, 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 run for your life. Let me hear you say OV ho. OV ho. Say OV ho. OV ho. Then step this way, step that way. Then step this way, step that way. Are you my friend? Are we locked in? Then step this way, step that way. Then step this way, step that way.
Let's get it! What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Let's Get It podcast. And today we have a good bit of news for you guys. How you guys going today? You guys going okay? Let's do a little shout out here before we start. So we have Boss Red 77. What's up, man? Of course, we have Arnie. We have CBH, For God, Backstrap Man, the only man that does, how to say, anime news with a backstrap on. Yeah. Trilla Ali, my brother. How you going, man? How you going? Anonymous Boss, Monique. What's up? P Strong. What's up, brother? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, so today we have a good bit of news. I mean, last week the news cycle for Xbox was horrible. Horrible. Things was blown out of proportion. Yes, there were some notable things that any Xbox fan will be angry about. But I mean, the difference between what they do to other platforms compared to Microsoft or Xbox is unheard of, right? So let's get right into what we'll be talking about today. So today we are going to talk about the perfect dark rumors, right? We're going to talk about the perfect dark rumors. We are also going to talk about that Cerebon interview. We know we had that Cerebon interview recently. And also all the closures that happened. We'll also have a brief stint on that as well. So we have a lot of things to talk about. So let's get right into it. So first off, let's talk about Perfect Dark. Well, most persons would know that Perfect Dark would have started in the N64 days, and it was a very popular game. It rivaled GoldenEye, right? I believe they copied the concept from GoldenEye, and it was a real good shooter. It started off on the Nintendo 64. I remember playing it for hours with my brothers and my friends. We had a lot of fun in Perfect Dark. But we know it had other releases on the Xbox. I believe it was the Xbox One. I believe it had a release there, but that one did not, do too well, right? However, we know that they had a reboot recently for the for Perfect Dark. Let's see if I can get some music here for us, right? So yes, so it had a reboot. And with this reboot, they had some real big time developers coming on to the reboot. Now, the thing is, one of the narratives that these ponies love to push is that Xbox can't manage their studios. So when they heard that Perfect Dark, or rather a rumor was being spread that Perfect Dark was in development hell. Yes, it was in development hell. And a lot of, news articles were written about it. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. So there was a lot of articles written about Perfect Dark. Let me show you it here. Look at this here. Look at these articles here and you guys tell me. So we had all these articles here written about Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark reboot reportedly in development hell. So that was the narrative of the day. This was in 2002. So what we're going to do is just listen to this girl here from IGN, and she will give us a little what was the narrative being pushed in 2022. Listen to what she's saying here.
A Dark Souls player beats the game.
Listen.
The The developer of the new reboot Perfect Dark has reportedly suffered significant staff departures over the past year. In a report from VGC that compiled interviews with unnamed former employees of Microsoft's The Initiative, it noted that around 34 people, much of the senior design team, have left the company. Dan Neuberger, the game's director, left the team this year with previous departures including design director Drew Murray, lead designer Chris O'Neill, principal world builder Julian Myers, and many other core team members. VGC's report also noted 2 senior writers, a technical director, a technical art director, a lead gameplay engineer, a lead animation quality assurance lead, and others have also departed the company, which has impacted the momentum of the project. Common reasons for the staff departure are a lack of collaboration and creative input, with staff feeling unheard regarding development priorities, project planning, and team staffing, resulting in a painfully slow development and lack of company culture. Daryl Gallagher, who still remains as studio head at The Initiative, has since made a statement saying, "In this journey, it's not uncommon for there to be staffing changes, especially during a time of global upheaval over the last 2 years, and there's plenty more work in front of us to deliver a fantastic Perfect Dark experience to our players. We wish all our former colleagues the very best, and I'm confident in the team we have in place, the new talent joining, and we can't wait to share more with the fans." The large change in...
Right. So this was basically the news of the day, right? Perfect Dark, according to I know a number of different news outlets, was in development hell, right? That was what they were saying. Now, fast forward to 2024, and a lot of persons who initially, would have said those rumors are now saying, because before I say that, because what they were saying is that seeing that the Perfect Dark is in development hell in 2022, they said that we would not have seen Perfect Dark in the next 5 years, right? Because they couldn't get the concept down, they couldn't get the game going. So guess what? If they're development hell in 2022, then we'll be seeing this game in 2027 for the least. That's what what the narrative was. Now fast forward to 2024, and notice what Jeff Grubb is saying. Listen to Jeff Grubb and tell me if it's the same story being pushed. That's now you guys seen this thing from Jeff Grubb? So let me stop share. Let me stop share this. Let me stop share this. Okay, let me share this stuff from Jeff Grubb here now. Right, so this is Jeff Grubb here. Listen to what he's saying.
Jeff Grubb, let's do this. Hello, I want to give you an update on Perfect Dark and the summer game mess. Let's start with Perfect Dark, get right into it. Earlier this week on the Bombcast, I mentioned that I had heard from a couple of people that it was in rough shape. I've heard that for a while on the corporate side, heard from the development side, something that seemed to line up with everything I'd heard before. And I think this is one of those situations that, as I said at the time, game development is messy and complicated, and these things can come together at any point during development.
So I believe that the first person to say that it was in development hell was Jeff Grubb. I believe he was the one who started the rumor when it comes to the Perfect Dark being in development hell, right?
And throughout that time, different people can have different perspectives on how the game is going. And some people definitely think, hey, there's things that don't look great and are in rough shape. But just as many, if not more, now that I've had the chance to talk to even more people, think it looks really good and think it's coming together. And yeah, the expectation is that it should be in that showcase next month. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that, but that's the way the wind is blowing. If things change, I wouldn't be 1,000,000% surprised. That's only because We're a month out still. These things are actually still a conversation. They're in flux. I bet they have a pretty good idea of what will be in the show, but how it actually presents in the show, whether it's it includes like all the information, like here's a release date. That stuff still is definitely
Jeff Grubb, let me just recommend something. You're a big deal in the gaming community. Take a haircut. Take a shave. Present yourself in a proper way. Come on, man. You're a big-time leaker. You're a big-time journalist. Come on. What's wrong with a little haircut?
a conversation. And then some things are still like on the bubble about whether they'll be in there or not. We've definitely seen that in the past. Well, I'll get to one of those.
There's another video. There's another video here from Jeff Grubb. Let me see if I can get it. There's another video.
Those here in a second. But really, bottom line with Perfect Dark is the game is not some special case where it's falling apart. I never said development hell. I never said it wouldn't be in the showcase. I just said I heard from a couple of people that they think it looks rough. That's still the case. It's just that situation where for some people they are really bashing their head against that because it's a big game and it has a lot of issues, just like any big game. And there's a lot of people who are like, no, we have figured out most of those problems. And yeah, there are a few ahead of us, but we're not worried about it. It's just a complicated thing.
So now he is backtracking and saying, here what? It's no longer in a rough shape. They got hold of what they needed to get hold of. And now things are looking smooth. Now, things are looking so good for Perfect Dark that there is a possibility that this game could be shown in the Xbox showcase this year. Now, this showcase is looking to be a very big showcase, right? This showcase is looking to be very good. Now, I hope Xbox don't disappoint. For the past few years, I find the showcase was very good. So let's continue with that trend. No sort of talking, no sort of explaining. Just give us game after game after game, as you guys did in the past. What up, Jim Bob? Ozzy, what up? What up? Breezy, what up? Chris George, what's going up? Mr. Glass, how are you guys going?
Things take time, take a lot of money, take a lot of people, and that's definitely the case for Perfect Dark, but it's not in some really bad scenario that's going to prevent it from delivering the way that they need it to necessarily. But, don't take my word for it. It seems like we're going to be able to judge for ourselves here relatively soon. And then do we get release date? No idea. No idea about any of the details that might be in there.
Right. So there you have it. Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark was, whoever thought about Perfect Dark, they did it right, because Perfect Dark basically set a lot of trends. If you all could remember, Perfect Dark was one of those games where the weapons, let me see if I can bring it up here. The weapons was, it had a unique feature. Every weapon in Perfect Dark had two functions. You all could remember that? Yeah, every weapon in Perfect Dark had two functions. It had a standard feature and then an advanced feature, right? And for the time, playing this game on the Nintendo 64 was so much fun, especially if it had you had the memory expansion, where you put that red memory expansion that makes the game it used to make the game run a little better. It used to look a little better when you put that little expansion on. Man, this game was a lot of fun. You guys can't believe how many hours. And I believe when it is you played this game with split screen, you had 4 split screen, this game was running 10 frames per second. But we didn't care as kids. We just had a lot of fun. Here, man, the Phoenix. Yeah, this gun was decent, man. So yeah, Perfect Dark might make a big comeback. It might make a big splash. This is just one of the big games that would be shown, if this rumor is true, in the Microsoft showcase. Now tell me what you think. What you guys think about Perfect Dark showing? Do you think that they really got it down? You all think that they revamped the story, so much so that we have a good story now. We have strong gameplay that could rival Halo and so forth. You will let me know in the comment sections below, right? So yes, the golden gun from 007. So yes, this was Perfect Dark, right? Now, tell me something. We know that, Microsoft made a lot of mistakes in the past, right? But I believe that the studios that was recently, closed, all was deserving of being closed except one, and that is Tango Gameworks. I believe that Microsoft had enough money that they, regardless of what state Tango Gameworks was in, they could have, kept it open because they had a lot of talent there. Now, having said that, granted that Microsoft, like Matt Booty and so forth, would have had to evaluate whether Tango Gameworks had enough talent to remain open. But remember the mastermind behind Tango Gameworks, which is this guy. Let me show you the guy who's the mastermind behind Tango Gameworks. This guy is responsible for creating so many games, right? This guy here, Shinji Mikami. This guy is a phenom when it comes to game. He created Resident Evil, The Evil Within, and Hi-Fi Rush. Now remember, although Hi-Fi Rush was critically acclaimed, it got a lot of awards, yes, the mastermind behind it left. He left the studio. Not only did he leave the studio, but look at this here. Look at this. This is supposedly game dev from Tango dev. Now, if this is true, we could now understand why it is Microsoft closed Tango. Although I don't agree with it, I could understand why they did it, right? This is from Astal. Hear what he says, right? According to the dev I'm talking to, she says Tango closure was inevitable due to them being a skeleton crew, right? So if you look at the this could be like an inbox. It's in Tango had a skeleton crew. Why they had a skeleton crew? Because when the leader or when the founder, which is this guy, left, a lot of the devs who were working with him left with him. He took a lot of the talent, right? They went on to say, a skeleton crew, right? And was smaller than an indie studio. Sadly, their fate was sealed. I've worked for many game companies. My last job was Bangda. Yes. So this dev, she is saying that this is one of the reasons why Microsoft decided to close Tango. Because not only they didn't have a smash hit before Hi-Fi Rush, they had, cult classics. They had games that people really loved, but they didn't sell a lot. No, it didn't sell a lot like some of the bigger titles like a Zelda or like a Spider-Man. It didn't sell that amount, right? And because the original creators took these devs, we understand why it is they closed. Now, the internet blew up when this happened. Yes, I could understand that Tango is a beloved studio, but I didn't see the same energy. You see this energy that the industry had? I didn't see the same energy when Sony did the exact thing. Didn't Sony close 4 studios in 4 years? We are talking about the London studio. That's when Jim Ryan, he bought a big cake. He bought ice cream. I heard it was chocolate and vanilla ice cream, right? And then he sat down with these employees. He ate and drank with them. And then the following day, he took an axe and all these employees off with their heads. Yes, the London studio closed this year. And then we had a Pixel Opus. You all remember Pixel Opus? Sony closed that studio and the Japanese studio. Now, I saw one YouTuber said that Microsoft closed Tango Gameworks in the week of Golden Week. And part of Golden Week, there is a day dedicated to children. And parents could not buy their children gifts because Microsoft basically took the children fun away from them because Microsoft fired their parents. But all of this talk about Golden Week and Children Day was not happening when Sony closed the Japan studio. I barely saw any uproar for that. And they did it some weeks before Golden Week. And of course, they also closed the Manchester studio. Where was that same energy, right? I mean, wasn't Sony or isn't Sony the market leader? Isn't Sony the company that made a lot of profits last year, according to some ponies? I remember them saying that Sony made crazy profits. The PlayStation 5 is selling gangbusters. So then why did Sony close and laid off, all of those workers? You see, these persons are not understanding that this is the decline that the gaming industry is in. There's a lot of decline in the gaming industry. And because of that, we are seeing all of these closures. It is not exclusive to one studio or for one platform. Everyone is going through it. The only company I'm seeing not really affected as much is Nintendo. Nintendo did have a few layoffs, but not as much as Sony, Microsoft, Rare, all of these studios. Yeah? All of these studios. You guys hear me well, or am I very quiet? Let me see if I could raise the volume. You guys hear me well, right? Right. So yeah. So this is the situation here with with Microsoft. They closed a lot of studios. What's up, Anonymous? What's up? So what we are going to do at this moment is we're going to do, we're going to watch the interview with Sarah Bond. The reason why we are watching the interview with Sarah Bond is because, you see, the ponies had a narrative this week that they were pushing. What was this narrative they were pushing this week? Now, somebody could maybe send me a message and tell me if I missed something, right? This is the narrative that these four ponies was pushing this week. Look at this. Look how sick they are. I told you guys it's a sickness. Look how sick these ponies are, right? This is what they were pushing this week. The ponies were saying that Microsoft is rebranding, right? Now, this is Uni. I mean, that's my boy, but he and all has he and all has drunk the pony juice, because he and all is saying that Microsoft is rebranding to from Xbox to Microsoft Gaming. Now, where did these ponies get this from? Where did the ponies hear that Microsoft is closing Xbox and is going to rebrand as Microsoft Gaming? Could somebody tell me where they got that from? Look, it's all here. Xbox rebranding to Microsoft Gaming. So this was the narrative that these ponies were pushing all through the week. I couldn't understand it. But they said that Sarah Bond said that they were rebranding, right? It's no longer Microsoft, it's no longer Xbox, it's now Microsoft Gaming, right? Xbox is dead. So let's see if this is what Sarah Bond was really saying. So let's go to this interview here with Sarah Bond, right? And let's see, let's really investigate this, right? So maybe I could take off this, I could pause this, right? let me share this. Share screen. And let's look at the Sarah Bond interview here. All right. You guys could see the screen there with a new Sarah Bond Bloomberg interview. Right? So let's play it. Listen carefully, guys, and let's see. We'll stop at different points and we'll see if Sarah Bond really answered the question. If it is, she was capping, we could tell she was capping. If it is, she addressed some concerns that the Xbox community had. Now listen.
Please welcome to the stage Sarah Bond, president of Xbox at Microsoft, for a conversation with Bloomberg's Dina Bass.
Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today. So I want to start talking about the industry in general. You and Microsoft Games CEO Phil Spencer have been raising kind of the alarm that the video game industry is just not growing, and there's a real need to figure out how to reverse that. What's causing the issue, and how does Xbox turn it around?
Before Sarah Bond answers here, let me just say that there is truth to the statement that Dina Bass just asked, right? From any generation that you all saw, none of the gaming consoles combined would have crossed over 200 million. In every generation of gaming, all of them fell into that 200 million bracket, right? Sony selling the most, Xbox selling the least, Nintendo somewhere in the middle. But combined, all of them would have reached inside, that 2 million, that 250 bracket, or 200 million bracket, 250 million bracket, right? So there was no growth. How these companies work is that they would look at trends and they would look at growth over the years. And yes, the gaming industry was not growing for the best part of 3 generations, right? So let's go. Let's see how Sarah Bond answered this question here.
Yeah, the last year or so in video games, largely the industry's been flat. And even in 2023, we saw just some tremendous releases, tremendously groundbreaking games, but still the growth didn't follow all of that. And a lot of that's related to our need to bring new players in, make gaming more accessible, but all of that has been happening at the same time that the cost associated with making these beautiful AAA blockbuster games is going up, and the time it takes to make them is going up. And so much of our focus as Xbox is about how we do things to help the industry all up, while also ensuring that our brand, everything that we do is there through this moment of transition.
So this was a straightforward answer from Sarah Bond here. She basically answered the question. And let me just add to that. Today, if a developer game does not sell well, they could be threatened to be closed, right? AKA Redfall. Redfall was a horrible idea. It didn't turn out well, and it cost the studio its life. Redfall is dead. We buried Redfall some months ago. It is dead. We have to accept it. That's the truth. Right? So let's see what it is the next question she's asked.
Related to some of the trends you're identifying, earlier this week, Xbox announced the shuttering of 4 game studios. I know you're not the studio's chief, but how should gamers understand that move in terms of Microsoft's commitment to developing innovative exclusive games?
Now, let me just say that Dina is asking some very good questions. This is a very good question that Dina just asked here. All right? Let's see how Sarah responds.
Yeah, it's always extraordinarily hard when you have to make decisions like that. You know, I'll go back to what I was saying about the industry. And when we looked at those fundamental trends, we feel a deep responsibility to ensure that the games we make, the devices we build,
makes money. Say it, Sarah. You all want all these devices and these games to make money.
the services that we offer are there through moments, even when the industry isn't growing and when you're through a time of transition. And the news we announced earlier this week is an outcome of that. And our commitment to make sure that the business is healthy for the long term.
So in other words, what she's saying here is that the reason why they got cut is because there was no growth. There was no growth. After looking at the trends of both Tango GameWorks, you know, the ponies could have saved Tango GameWorks if they bought Hi-Fi Rush in drove, but they didn't. Right? That's clear. They didn't buy that game in droves. I mean, we got it in Game Pass for free, so we weren't incentivized to buy it. But the gaming platform or the fans who say that they buy games, they didn't buy Hi-Fi Rush. Hence, this contributed to Tango GameWorks. We also remember that Tango GameWorks would have created that game that was exclusive to Sony, right? I can't. It's not coming to mind now, but yes, Tango GameWorks did make a game exclusive to Sony, and the ponies didn't buy it. So they would have directly contributed to Tango being closed, because as they would have looked at the sales of those games, it was not selling.
But that said, our commitment to having our own studios and working with partners to have games large and small, you know, we're a platform where you can play GTA, but you can also play Power World, where you can play Call of Duty, and you can also play Pentiment. That doesn't change. And frankly, our commitment to Bethesda and the role that it plays.
Why did Sarah mention Pentiment? Come on. Sarah, you have to be honest. No one is playing Pentiment. No one is playing. Who played Pentiment in the chat? Let me see who played Pentiment in the chat. That game, I mean, reading and clicking. No one is playing Pentiment. Come on.
Is part of Xbox and everything we do. It's actually been pretty fantastic. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to check it out. The Fallout TV show was on.
Let's know. Matt, you played Pentiment? Matt Brannon. Well, good on you, man. I thought I would not have gotten one person who played Pentiment, but good on you, man. Pentiment. All right.
On Amazon. And it's been great to see people fall in love with that universe, but also what it's done for the games themselves and people going back and exploring everything that's inside of that. There's some other great things that are coming from our studios later this year. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I was a big indie fan growing up. Looks like you were too. So you should check that out. But really right now for us and our teams, our focus is on the people impacted and doing everything.
Wait. So is Matt, Brandon, P Strong, and Red Play, all of you guys finished Pentiment? Well, that game is fire. Is it fire, guys? I'm seeing a lot of guys here playing Pentiment. Well, I guess I have to check it out. We'll see how it is.
Everything that we can do to help them through this hard transition.
I think one of the things that was most upsetting both to Xbox gamers and to employees is that, you know, one of the shuttered studios in particular just created a hit game, did really well on Game Pass and in terms of engagement, and won a ton of awards. Shouldn't succeeding in that way ensure the future of a studio?
Yes. So she asked her the question about Tango GameWorks here. Let's see how she answers.
You know, one of the things I really love about the games industry is it's a creative art form. And it means that the situation and what success is for each game and studio is also really unique. Like there's no one size fits all to it for us. And so we look at each studio, each game team, and we look at a whole variety of factors when we're faced with sort of making decisions and trade-offs like that. But it all comes back to our long-term commitment to the games we create, the devices we build, the services, and ensuring that we're setting ourselves up to be able to deliver on those promises.
So, yes, she did answer the question, but it's a lot of word salad. She could be a good politician. She answered it, but she didn't really answer it. She basically said, there were other factors other than, awards and game sales. But this is kind of contradictory from what Matt Booty would have said in the leaked videos, where he said that how, they're looking for smaller games like that wins award, like Penmen and so, like Hi-Fi Rush and so forth. But what she basically said is that outside of how many persons play the game, how many persons bought the game, how many awards Hi-Fi Rush won, that they were looking at other factors. And what she's saying is that the reason why they closed down Tango is that would have affected the long-term goals of Xbox. So it would have, pulled down Xbox as it would. Now, Xbox, I believe Xbox has enough money that they could have kept Tango GameWorks in operation. But that's their choice. I mean, as I said before, it maybe didn't have the talent there that Microsoft believed in. That is why they gave Tango the axe. But let's see.
Talking, further about growth. I mean, one of the key focus areas for Xbox in terms of growth, and this was also one of the key bets in the Activision acquisition, was mobile.
Mm-hmm.
What's the Xbox plan?
No, guys, listen to this question. I think this is the question that would answer the question I had earlier. So the pony said that Microsoft is rebranding from Xbox Gaming to Microsoft Gaming. There's no longer something called Xbox Gaming, although when Sarah Bond walked onto the stage, her title was President of Xbox Gaming, right? So forget that. The ponies didn't see that, right? Sarah Bond is not the lead of Xbox Gaming. I mean, wasn't this interview a good time to change her title to head of Microsoft Gaming or president of Microsoft Gaming? Why they kept the title as Xbox Gaming? But she's asking her the question now about mobile. Let me rewind it a little bit. Listen to the question she's asking and look at the context of what Sarah is saying.
Was mobile.
Mm-hmm.
What's the Xbox plan for future mobile gaming, and when can we finally see it?
Yeah, it feels like it's been a long time since we announced the Activision acquisition, which we completed in October. And the whole thesis about that, a lot of why we did it was about mobile. And we felt strongly that there has been an opportunity for there to be an experience on mobile that is centered around gamers. Like we talk a lot about how there's 3 billion gamers in the world. 2 of those billion play on mobile, and half of those actually play on mobile and they play on another device. But there isn't actually a gaming platform and store experience that is centered around players and goes truly across device, where who you are, your library, your identity, your rewards, that travels with you versus being locked to a single ecosystem. And we've recognized that opportunity for a long time, but we wanted to make sure that anything we built was really grounded in people who play those mobile native games and the creators of them. And so being joined with a team that has real deep expertise in mobile was important to us. But we are that now. And so in July, we are going to be launching our mobile store experience. We're going to start actually by bringing our own first-party portfolio to that. So you're going to see games like Candy Crush show up in that experience, games like Minecraft. And then we're going to extend that capability to partners so that they can also take advantage of it and have a true cross-platform gaming-centric mobile experience. We're going to start on the web, and we're doing that because that really allows us to have it be an experience that's accessible across all devices, all countries, no matter what, independent of the policies of, closed ecosystem stores. And then we're going to extend from there. So I'm excited about it just because it's something that we've wanted to do for a long time. We've heard gamers talking about it for a long time, and we're now at the point where we can take those steps.
So this is what the whole controversy was about. So the ponies are saying that Microsoft is they are no longer going by that name, Xbox. They are now transitioning to Microsoft Gaming. And the question that Sarah Bond would have answered from Dana was concerning the what was said in the courtroom when it is Microsoft said that one of the reasons for acquiring ABK is because they wanted to, challenge that duopoly that was Apple and Google, right? They wanted to have a third store. So not just the Play Store or the Apple Play Store, but also this Microsoft Gaming Store, right? With their own games and their own apps. This is what Sarah is saying. So I'm trying to understand, where did Sarah tell these ponies that Xbox was no more and they were, they were going to change to Microsoft Game?
Oh, good! One and done! He ain't getting up!
Learn to listen, ponies. Learn to listen and comprehend. This has nothing to do with Microsoft rebranding or Xbox rebranding to Microsoft Gaming. Listen to the interview. You guys can comprehend well.
And so in July when it launches, we at that point at the beginning see Candy Crush and Minecraft in it, or how soon? Or
you'll see things roll out over time.
Do you know how soon partners will be able to use it as well?
Our goal is to get partners using it shortly after launch. We really want to make sure we start and we scale using our own IP first. That allows us to make sure that the experience that we bring partners into.
You see what it says? It says there's Sarah Bond, president of Xbox, Microsoft. There's nothing about Microsoft Gaming there. Come on, ponies, think.
Really builds on all the quality and learning that we have as a team.
Another big discussion point in the Activision acquisition was cloud gaming and how big that market really was. When will we really see it gain traction? Is it gaining users finally in any particular regions and scenarios? How is it doing? What do people use it for?
Yeah, so, cloud gaming, for those that don't know, I don't know if everyone here in the audience is familiar with it, is just the ability to play a game natively from the cloud. So you don't need to actually have a piece of hardware in your home, and you can experience something that's AAA Xbox gaming on any device, regardless of the local compute that you have. And we have been investing in that for some time because we really believe that opening up sort of these beautiful immersive experiences to
Anybody here use the cloud feature? I'm curious.
More gamers is important for industry growth, for developers, and we know people want to play those experiences. And we're seeing tremendous growth there. We have more demand than supply in that area, and you'll see us rolling out more capacity.
P Strong and Matt, y'all, how does it work? It works good?
Introducing more options for people to jump in and play on the cloud.
And is it growing faster than the overall market? We were talking about the market itself is down. Where is cloud gaming?
It is growing.
Okay, some of you guys are saying it works good, but some are saying it sucks. But all right, we'll see how things
fast
go.
In the overall market, really bringing in new players and growth for us. So it's an area where we're investing more and we're excited about.
Earlier this year, Xbox announced for the first time that it was
Shafiel Adams, What are you saying? That I am delusional? If I'm delusional, why are you listening to a delusional guy? Are you stupid or what?
Bringing a slate of Xbox developed games, Xbox exclusive games to rival platforms, to Sony's PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. That obviously was a big change. It was a little bit unsettling for some of the Xbox hardware fans, but how is it going so far? Do you have any data about how the games are doing? Just do PlayStation gamers really want to play Sea of Thieves?
It's early days yet, so I don't have specific data to share, but we are really encouraged by the reception of our games. And one thing that I think it's important to note is, as Xbox, we've been putting games on other platforms for a long time. Minecraft.
Correct. There was no mention that when Minecraft was bought by Microsoft, how Minecraft saw significant growth under Microsoft. No one talks about that, right? But now all of a sudden, Microsoft can't manage studios. So how they were able to manage Mojang well, to the point where Mojang is one of the biggest gaming studios in the world, whereas they have one of the biggest games still in the world. Come on, guys, think.
Craft is available pretty much universally. The teams at Bethesda have had games on other platforms. The teams at Activision Blizzard have games on other platforms. And so it's a decision we just make on a game-by-game basis.
And I mean, this was such a good answer here from Sarah. Look, she just said that games would be coming to other platforms by a game-by-game basis. This would have been a perfect opportunity for her to say the entire slate is coming to PlayStation and Nintendo. But she didn't say that, right? She said games would come on a game-by-game basis, right? Why would I buy a company that had games on other platforms and decide to take those games away and deplete the profits that I would be making? Does that make sense? You guys, I know you guys, some of you guys need to catch up, but think about it. Why would I buy a company, they had games on other platforms, and then take it away and reduce my profits? That makes absolutely no sense. So Microsoft is just continuing to to give other platforms the games that those companies that they bought was already doing. And of course, they will have some exclusive titles, aka Starfield. Starfield and Bethesda games were always coming on PlayStation, but we saw some games stayed exclusive to the Xbox platform, like Starfield, right? So that's a good answer there by Sarah.
As we move forward and continue to execute on our strategy.
Let's play it
pretty
over.
much universally.
Let's play it over.
So
to rival platforms. Stuff is down. Where is cloud gaming?
It is growing fast in the overall, and we're excited about.
Let's listen to this.
Earlier this year, Xbox announced for the first time that it was bringing a slate of Xbox developed games, Xbox exclusive games, to rival platforms, to Sony's PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. That obviously was a big change. It was a little bit unsettling for some of the Xbox hardware fans, but how is it going so far? Do you have any data about how the games are doing? Just do PlayStation gamers really want to play Sea of Thieves?
It's early days yet, so I don't have specific data to share, but we are really encouraged by the reception of our games. And one thing that I think it's important to note is, as Xbox, we've been putting games on other platforms for a long time. Minecraft is available pretty much universally. The teams at Bethesda have had games on other platforms. The teams at Activision Blizzard have games on other platforms. And so it's a decision we just make on a game-by-game basis.
Game-by-game basis. That's it again. Game-by-game basis. Get that through your all thick skulls. Right?
As we move forward and continue to execute on our strategy.
at the same time, we've talked about mobile, we've talked about cloud. I mean, of course, Xbox itself's heritage is in console, and the energy around the console right now is a little challenged. Many of the hardcore long-term customers are worried. They're worried about the release on other platforms. They're worried that that may indicate that Xbox is defocusing its own hardware. What do you say to them?
This is a good question here. W interviewer. This is a very good question. This is a good question for all the ponies and jabronis, because this is the narrative that they have been pushing, right? So very good question, interviewer. Let's see how she answers it.
How do you make them feel like Xbox is still for them?
Yeah, I mean, first, the worry that I see is happening across the industry, and I think is a lot of what we're seeing, just industry all up. But specific to core gamers, my focus has really been on engineering and building that next generation hardware experience that really, really taps in to their needs.
Just now, so Michael's Xbox is dead, right? Because of all the bad and negative news, these ponies are saying Xbox is dead, right? Why is Sarah still doubling down and repeating that she is going to make another console? Tell me why, right? Tell me why. This is a good time for you to say, yeah, well, guys, this is a wrap. No more consoles is coming. Why then? Look, she just said it there. They are going to make another revolutionary console for their players, right? Listen.
I talked about this.
Hey, what's up, Omar? The biggest pony in the land. Omar, give Omar a round of applause, guys. He is one of the biggest ponies I know. But he's a good supporter.
It's a little bit publicly a few months ago. I talked about how, our focus is on delivering the biggest leap ever. And that's about really thinking through every aspect of what that hardware and what that experience delivers with the core gamer in mind. And that is about power and performance. That's absolutely part of it. But it's also about the ability to be able to play all of the games. I mean, we have people who have been playing on Xbox for decades, have invested.
Now, didn't these ponies say that the next consoles would be a mobile console? Like something like a phone, or has some sort of phone processor or what have you? If that is the case, why would she said that, all the games would be playing on the new consoles that they are using? Some of these games are using some of the most challenging type of programs and so forth. Most phones cannot handle console quality games, right? We just saw the Apple phone trying to reproduce or replicate what console is doing, but still the iPhone games cannot look like a console. That is very clear. Now, if the rumors are saying that Xbox is no longer going to do a traditional console, then why is Sarah Bond saying that the console that is coming up would be able to play all their console games on this device? In order for that to happen, this console will also need to be a beast. It will also need to be capable of playing these games.
Thousands and thousands of dollars and hours with us, and to be able to take all of those games with them into the hardware of the future. So one of the decisions I made when I came in and became president of Xbox was to establish a team dedicated to that, to game preservation and ensure.
Sorry, Omar, you just got torched. Fire in the hole for Omar, right? Be careful.
Ensuring that future generations, future iterations, that you get to take those things with you forward. The next part of that is saying, okay, I get to bring those games with me. I'm invested in those games. I get an incredible high performance experience on my console, but also continuing our commitment to make sure that gamers can bring their games with them wherever they want to play. that my Xbox library.
Hey, is she kind of hinting on a Xbox handheld? Is she hinting on an Xbox handheld, guys? What do you guys think?
Is something that can go with me and that I can enjoy with others. So our long-term commitment to cross-play is part of that, and our commitment to cross-progression and cloud saves, so you can pick up on one device and you can play on another, is part of that. And also our investments in cloud gaming, which you referenced earlier. A lot of those who use cloud gaming are people who own a console. They're just, they want to play it on another device and go somewhere else. So that's the second piece. And then the last piece is about Game Pass. We know our core users.
So this is Game Pass here. Remember, they said that Game Pass, is dead. They're not going to put any more AAA games into Game Pass. Let's see what she says here.
Users love Game Pass. Game Pass is a gaming subscription. You get a whole portfolio of games, but importantly, you get every single one of our games that we build day one in Game Pass. And the quality.
Brandon, Dolomite, John Gray, what up?
And the breadth of those games has only been going up over time, and you're going to see some more really big games going into Game Pass later this year.
From Activision's
across the whole slate. Across the whole slate, you're going to.
She said it. No, the ponies was looking to hear that the whole slate of Xbox games was coming to PlayStation, but no. What Sarah just said is that across the whole slate of Activision Blizzard games, there is a high possibility that they will be coming into Game Pass, right? This really shows that these guys know nothing. All these rumors that persons have been saying, they know nothing. They have no inside scoop. They have no source. The only source they have is what they have in the fridge. That tobacco sauce or that ranch sauce. They have no sources.
I see some really amazing things. And keeping that as something that is really special for Xbox players is central for us.
A lot of the focus at this conference today has been AI. But AI for gamers is a little different than we talk about AI for the enterprise or for healthcare.
How you guys think Microsoft could implement AI in their next console? How do you guys think they could use, because Microsoft is going real heavy on AI, how they can, could they use it to fix the bugs in games that, they could produce games faster? How do you think AI could be used in the next console for Microsoft?
Where do you think AI will be important both to players and to game developers? And how is Microsoft investing against that?
Yeah. I didn't hear all the talks today, but I think we can all confidently say that we are right at the beginning of what AI means for us as a society and for businesses in general. And that's absolutely true in gaming as well. For us, we take our responsibility around AI as Microsoft very seriously and being really, really thoughtful about what we do. And as Xbox, there's something really unique about being a gaming company that is part of a major AI company. And so all of our focus within our team is about how we ensure that gaming AI is really crafted in a way that delivers unique and delightful experiences to players and adds real value for developers. So there's three things we look at as part of that. The first is around developer velocity. How do we give developers tools to make it easier for them to realize their creations, to speed up iteration cycles, and also, frankly, to make it easier for people who make.
Let me hear what this guy is saying here. What is this guy saying here? What is Anonymous Boss saying here? Let's get it. Z. Pastor Z said you have to take a bath. Why are you capping, Pastor? Salute to your videos. Keep it going, Pastor. Say, let's get it. Hey, you're sick, Anonymous Boss, but thanks for the dono, man. Thanks for that fireworks.
May not have as much in-depth training on game development to build a game. we know that with that, there's just going to be a huge proliferation of gaming content and options out there. So
what up, RWK? What up, man?
That leads us very naturally to the next layer where we're investing a lot, which is around discovery and making sure that people can really be matched with the game experience that we know that they'll love, and that a whole range of creations can be discovered from the biggest games, but also from something novel and new that you may not have intuitively known to look for, but you're going to love if you experience it. And then the last piece is around the actual experience in the game. Engagement, delight, playing through and having a fun time, not getting stuck, all the things that come with that, so that you can get really the most out of the game experience. So we are early in this. As I said, you'll see us share things, and things will come out during the course of the year, but our focus just really continues to be on keeping player at the center, keeping the developer at the center, and how AI turns up in gaming.
Xbox President Sarah Bond, thank you so much for your time.
So this was a good interview, guys. This was Sarah Bond responding to a number of questions. I mean, this is something that she needed to do because of all that, negative news that was happening throughout the week. But it's very clear, some things was cleared up. She was very skillful in her answering. She didn't answer some of the questions that she felt trapped, but she did give us some good answers there. All games won't be coming to rival platforms. It's by a game basis, as you heard. We also saw that a number of games from Activision will be coming into Game Pass, right? So that was a good interview. I don't know where the ponies are getting that Microsoft is rebranding Xbox from Xbox Gaming is going to Microsoft Gaming. I don't know what they are smoking, what they are drinking, or what they are eating. But these guys are sick to even think that was the case. I have one more little tidbit here for you guys. Apparently, there is a little upheaval in the PlayStation community because it appears that Sony did not learn from the debacle that was Helldivers 2. We remember what recently happened with Helldivers 2, right? But why is Sony repeating the same thing with Helldivers 2? Listen to what RGT have to say here.
There was no word said about this. It was just assumed that you would just play the game on Steam like you would any other game. But no, out of the blue, all of a sudden, Sony needed to implement this because they needed to protect you. PSN. That's
So let me give you a little heads up. So what RGT is talking about here is that last week, Sony had a big backlash because they required PC gamers to log into a PlayStation account in order to play Helldivers 2. And because PSN is not in 174 countries, a lot of the player base left, they got downviewed to oblivion, and they had to recant their statement. They had to change their mind. So one would think that, Sony learned from that. The PC community does not play. They don't want to have anything to do with logging into a PlayStation account, right? For me, it's not a big deal, but the PC community is not seeing it that way, right? Look at this here.
Service never gets hacked, except for like every other year since the PlayStation 3 era, where data gets out there and people get it, and Sony never really does anything about it. But no, they never get hacked. So rightfully so, people were upset by this. So what did Sony do? Well, they looked at the drawing board and they decided to walk it back, but not before a bigger problem arose from this situation. Because if you're requiring a PSN account to log into a game, well, there are about 170 or so countries right now where PSN is not available, meaning that the game would not be available for purchase and refunds would be given for Helldivers 2 if you were in one of those impacted countries.
This was a stupid move by Sony. Real stupid.
And these are countries where people play video games. Like Puerto Rico is one of the countries where PSN is not available. So really, that's just kind of a bigger issue overall. It's like, well, why is PSN not available in so many different countries? But alas, that's not what we're here to talk about today. All of that kind of leads us up to where we are now, because you're supposed to learn from the mistake. You're supposed to learn from your wrongdoings, because you got review bombed on there. People were pissed off. Now you got another game coming out May 16th, a mere few days from now, onto Steam. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Many people are excited for this game. Enhanced graphical capabilities coming out on Steam.
Let me just say, my country is not affected by this ban. We get everything here. We get all the games, we get everything in my country, right? Let me see what Anonymous Boss is saying here again. Salute, Gaming with Jay. Let's get it. Why is J-Dub big capping? This is a sickness. Hey, Jay, can you please make as a B mod here? I will follow all the rules. All right, no problem. I'll make you a mod. Just no cursing and no slack talk. You know the regular stuff, right? All right, let me get back to the video here.
Hey, it's a single player game. There's only a co-op multiplayer aspect to it, but you don't have to do that. So I am 100% sure I won't need a PSN to log into this on Steam, will I? You didn't learn your lesson, you stupid bastards. You are absolutely out of your mind. You didn't learn a damn thing from Helldivers 2, because now the game is getting review bombed because, once again, Sony is requiring a PSN login into this game if you want to play it on Steam. So,
but didn't Sony send out a mail saying that they understand what the PC gamer wants, and they said that they learned from the mistake of letting persons sign in to Helldivers 2? I mean, why would they do that after sending out that tweet? I don't understand.
Now, the game has been delisted in over those 170 countries where PSN is not available. Because if you're being required to log into something and you're not able to access it, like, what are you supposed to do? Lie? Is that what companies want us to do? They want us to lie, use a VPN or something like that? Like, you literally cannot access this if you are in one of the 170 affected countries. So the game has been delisted. It's getting review bombed. And the problem is that Sucker Punch themselves announced that PSN linking would only be a necessary thing if you use that co-op multiplayer mode. And this was a few days ago. But now all of a sudden, you need the PSN to log in, period.
Somebody is behind this from Sony, and I don't know if they're trying to sabotage Sony, but I feel Xbox is on the inside, man. A bot is on the inside, man. These guys are sick to do the exact same thing as Helldivers 2 and expect good results. This is crazy.
Point blank, just to play the game. So you're releasing a game on Steam, a worldwide global market, but you're making it so that many countries, over 170 to be exact, cannot access this game because you decided that it needed PSN login at the last second, because people have already been pre-ordering this game. If you pre-ordered this game in one of those affected countries, you've already got your refund. You've already got a message saying that the game has been delisted and that you have your refund back. What the hell do you think that's going to do for sales? Now, granted, I understand that some of these countries might not be as big as other countries, but cumulatively speaking, I said that word kind of too fast and it didn't really come out right. Cumulatively speaking, that's going to make an impact on things. Plus, you're going to have people who look at this and they're like, well, I don't want to support this. They're screwing people in other regions. They're screwing gamers in other regions.
But this is what Sony are accustomed doing. Didn't they raise the console in other regions and raise the game prices and raise the PSN in other countries? And because they have the stiffest competition in America, they left the price in America. This is what Sony accustomed doing in other regions, right? They keep giving other regions the bad end of the stick because they could do it. They are the market leader.
For absolutely no reason. And you think people aren't going to be upset about this? You think people aren't going to be mad about this? You're trying to make a bigger push into things like Steam and PC gaming. But when you change everything, if it had always been, see, that's the thing. A lot of people that defend this, like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. The problem is, if it was always this way, if it was laid out clearly going into this, then at least, you could kind of blame yourself to some extent. The problem is they're changing things at the last minute or after the game comes out. Like if I buy a game for $40 and all of a sudden I need some additional login that I didn't need 3 months ago when I bought the game or whatever, like that's going to piss people off. And when you're pre-ordering a game, the game comes out in a mere 5 days from the time of the filming of this video, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, you need that PSN login. Even though Sucker Punch said you would only need it if you did the...
Ghost of Tsushima makes Rise of Ronin look like a game made from Play-Doh. Yeah, I don't understand why they brought the Rise of Ronin on the PlayStation 5, knowing fully well that Ghost of Tsushima looks way better than that game.
The online stuff. Like, that's a problem. Like, make some freaking video games. How about that? Make some video games that people want to play. Because right now, your PlayStation 5 lineup is barren as a wasteland.
And there we have it. No one is saying that Sony doesn't have any roadmap for this year. This year, they didn't release any first-party game. All third-party deals they had. And guess what? The other side is extremely quiet. There is no mention of these things. Not one mention. Wow.
Right now for 2024. You're porting these games over to PC. You're putting games over on PC, and then you're pissing off those people too. So you've got disgruntled console owners. You have disgruntled PC owners who wanted to potentially experience these games. What's the point? How are you not learning anything from this? What are you actually gaining from having someone create a PSN account and then log into that PSN account? What benefit does it have for you to track people's information, to track people's data? Can't you just do that with the Steam data? Like, there's no protection here. I trust Steam way more than I trust PSN. Way more, especially compared to what PSN offers. But no, these companies, this is the problem.
So this is it, guys. This is the next thing with the PlayStation. They are requiring PC users to have a PSN before they play the game. Now, there's a lot of things that are going to happen in the coming weeks for Microsoft. We know that, of course, we have that showcase that we're looking forward to. Now, Microsoft need to be very clear. They need to come very strong with this showcase. I mean, don't hold back any punches. The last showcase, again, was good. I agree with most of the gaming analysts. It was a good showcase. Flipping, what up, man? So I expect Microsoft to blow us out of the ballpark when it comes to, that showcase. I might live stream it on the podcast. I might, come live while they are streaming that showcase, and we'll see what they have to offer. Right? I just need to do a little research as to, what song I could play and so forth, because I don't want to get no copyright strike when it comes to, streaming those type of events. So yeah, we can look forward to that. So it's cleared up. We understood what Sarah Bond said. We understood how Microsoft is moving in the near future. Microsoft have a lot of bad PR surrounding them at the moment, but it's nothing that they can't dig themselves out of. They need to be very clear as the games keep dropping good AAA games, whether it be in Game Pass or on the platform. And I guarantee you, all of this bad news and all of this bad so-called air around Microsoft would be gone. So let me hear what you guys think about everything that we said today. Today we had a good podcast. We had a few guys coming in. Anonymous Boss, thanks, the donations, and all the guys who, had a good time in the chat. Thank you guys. It was a real good podcast. So you guys could send me, different stories on my Twitter. Let me see if I can put my Twitter up here. Yeah, send me something on my Twitter. Subscribe. Any story you guys want me to cover for the podcast, you guys can send me that on my Twitter handle. So you could subscribe to my Twitter account right here. So this was a good show again, guys. Omar, I'm sorry, but you got out of here, man. They blast you off into space there, man. Stop being a pony, Omar, and you'll last longer in the chat. That's all. That's all you need to do. Stop being a pony.
This is a sickness. It is deviant. Therefore, we don't want it.
It's a sickness, but I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. So, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Next week, God's willing, we'll have another interesting show. Later.